Yes, yes, yes! The Chicago Cubs are back in the playoffs and they win game one of the NL Wild Card Series against the San Diego Padres. 3-1 playoff baseball's back at Wrigley Field. Hey, this is the first individual Cubs game reaction on the channel. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's going to be fun. Cubs win. Go Cubs Go is heard around Wrigley Field and in the city of Chicago because the Chicago Cubs have won their first playoff game since 2017. It's the first time they host a playoff game in front of fans in 7 years. It's fun. It's awesome. What a nice win for this club. Now you might be wondering, why am I wearing a Bears shirt? To put it plain and simple, I don't have enough Cubs merch to kind of supply throughout a week. So you're getting this shirt today. Tomorrow you're getting a Cubs shirt, and if there's a game 3, you get another Cubs shirt. Simple as that. But I got to kind of spice it up a little bit. You know, I don't have just enough Cubs merch to wear throughout the week. And wear a different shirt every game. So yeah, that's why you're getting this. But I'll be wearing the hat for every game though. So don't worry about that. You'll still have at least some sort of Cubs stuff. You'll have the hat. So without any further delay, let's talk about this ball game. On this channel so far this season, all we've done is talk about the Cubs abroad. I've only done one video a month talking about the previous month of action, so April, May, June, etc. This is different. We're going to be talking about one specific game for this entire video. Now, I saw a lot of people complain about the wild card schedule and the fact that the Cubs are going to be playing at 2 p.m. Central 3 days in a row for playoff games at Wrigley Field. But apparently that didn't seem to matter. They're still selling that thing out. Of course, it's Wrigley Field. People are going to take off work. They're going to leave work early. They're going to go to this game if they care enough. And that's exactly what happened. Cubs fans showed out, and I expect them to show out again tomorrow, but that was crazy. Great atmosphere, as always, at the friendly confines. It took a second for the Cubs to really get going. Matthew Boyd getting the nod to start on the mound in game one of this series. It originally was going to be Cade Horton, but he's on the IL right now. He'll play probably at the very end of the NLDS if they make it that far to like a game 5, or in the NLCS. That probably would be the more likely destination for Cade Horton's return if the Cubs make it that far. So they get Matthew Boyd instead, and he did it fine. He wasn't a total world beater like Tarek Skubal was earlier today for the Tigers. I mean, he had a great day. But he did his job. Did allow the one run that the Cubs allowed in this game, but they were able to fight back, and it was a very strong bullpen effort to help out their pitcher. Because in the top of the second, it was 2 doubles in a row from Jackson Merrill and Xander Bogaerts that would put the Padres up 1-0 and with nobody out. So I got to give also credit for Matthew Boyd for getting out of that inning, because knowing how this game turned out, that was a crucial moment early in this ball game. Finding ways to get some easy outs in the infield, keep it in the infield. Do not let Xander Bogaerts get home from third, and they get out of the inning without surrendering that second run. That would be just that much harder to escape from, right? So great job for Matthew Boyd. He then would pitch some more shutout innings before eventually getting pulled in the 5th. Cubs bats really struggled early in this game. Nick Pivetta getting the start on the mound for San Diego. I'll tell you right now, he looked really good in those first 4 innings. Just allowed the 1 hit to Nico Horner in the first. Throughout the 5 innings he pitched in this game, he struck out 9 batters, didn't walk a single batter, had a really good performance outside of 2 crucial swings in the bottom of the 5th. Because in the 5th inning, after they pull Matthew Boyd, Daniel Palencia finishes the top of the 5th for the Cubs. Nick Pivetta goes back out, and he's got a pitch to Seiya Suzuki. And Seiya Suzuki launches one out to left center and gone to tie the ball game. Seiya Suzuki, who had hit homers in his last 4 regular season games, now has a 5-game home run streak, and that will tie the game at 1. And it wouldn't stay tied for long, because up next is Carson Kelly. And he would do the exact same thing. I mean, literally the exact same thing. A nice swing out to left center and out of the ballpark. And the Cubs lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th after finally finding a way to shake a pitcher who was just controlling that lineup through the first 4 innings. The Cubs bullpen then takes over. What's been a weak point in the Cubs roster the last couple of years has become a stronger point this year. Palencia finishes the 6th, and it's Pomeranz in the 7th. He pitches a shutout inning. Andrew Kittredge looks really good in the 8th. And in the bottom of the 8th, against Estrada, it's Nico Horner who is able to score a run on a sac fly and put the Cubs up 3-1. And it really was that bottom of the 8th that sealed the deal for Chicago. Dansby Swanson starts the inning off with a hit. He also had a phenomenal catch in shallow left center, tracking back over the shoulder to snag a catch for an out that could have potentially scored a run from third and ends up holding the runner, and the Cubs would get out of that inning. I believe it was the 4th. And that, again, another massive defensive play from this defense that's played very well in the second half of the year. But he singles to begin the bottom of the 8th. And then it's Matt Shaw, who is... it's a sacrifice bunt. Sorry, he hit a sac bunt to get Swanson to second. They intentionally walk Michael Busch. And then on a wild pitch, gets by the catcher. Runners get to second and third, and it's Horner to deal in the sac fly to put the Cubs up 3-1. Brad Keller comes in the 9th, shuts the door, puts the Padres out 1-2-3 with a nice bottom left corner strikeout to end the game. And the Cubs get to celebrate their first playoff win in 8 years. And that Padres pitching staff were retiring a lot of Cubs batters in this game. They did a good job limiting the damage for what this Cubs offense can do. 13 strikeouts from the entire group. And outside of the 2 home runs, they look nearly unstoppable. Which makes those swings from Suzuki and Kelly that much more impactful, because outside of those 2 swings, Pivetta had a phenomenal day. But obviously he's going to get the loss because he surrendered the 2 home runs back to back. Which, that's just how baseball works. I'm telling you. They lit up the 3rd insurance run, and it's over because the Padres' bats were super cold in this game. And this Cubs pitching staff was doing a really good job forcing easy ground outs or fly outs. The Padres' bats were getting a lot of balls deep into the outfield, but they just couldn't hit it out. There's a little wind that was blowing in, keeping a lot of balls out of the yard. Michael Busch almost had a leadoff home run, but it died out at the track. Merrill had a deep hit in the bottom of the 9th that got caught at the track by PCA. I mean, the Cubs found a way to get this one done. So Palencia gets the win for the Cubs. His first playoff win in his career, and that one's got to feel good for a guy who had some shoulder issues in the middle of the year to come out and have a couple crucial strikeouts, still be able to throw with some heat. That's got to feel really good, and he's rewarded with a Game 1 victory on the mound. Now, when it comes to Game 2, tomorrow, same time, at Wrigley Field. Looks like it'll be Dylan Cease, according to MLB, with their probable pitchers, Dylan Cease and Andrew Kittredge, who pitched in the 8th inning today for the Cubs. It looks like we might be looking at a bullpen game for Chicago tomorrow, and I wouldn't hate that. Andrew Kittredge only pitched 1 inning again. I feel like he'd be good to get through 2 or 3 innings. And I like what this Cubs bullpen's done so far today. And I understand the idea, because if they had lost this game, I think their approach is different. They're going to go for a more traditional starter to try and limit the Padres' bats. But they'll go with the bullpen game to try and rest up the arms for Game 3 and then the NLDS. Offensively, I want to see some extra base hits. No doubles for the Cubs today. They had the 2 home runs, which were awesome, and that was the reason why they won this game. But 4 singles was all the rest of the team had. I'd like to see an extra base hit or two early in this game to try and rattle Dylan Cease early. Maybe do something similar to what the Padres did to score their lone run of this one. 2 back-to-back doubles from, it was Merrill and Bogaerts. I also think it's important for them to score with runners in scoring position because outside of the 2 home runs, Nico Hoerner was the only one to drive in a run for the Cubs when there were runners on the bases. And that was after a wild pitch and there were runners at second and third. And it took a sac fly to score that run. So I think it's important that they're able to drive in a run or two because in these wild card series, as we've seen over the last couple of years in this expanded playoff format, the wild card series are not very high scoring. It is a lot of pitchers' duels. It is a lot of defense because the stress levels are incredibly high knowing the situation. So if they can capitalize with runners in scoring position and make the Padres feel it after they allow a base runner or two, I think that is going to put San Diego down and out of the run in Game 2. So a really nice solid win. It was the power bats that came out when they needed to in Suzuki and Kelly. And then it was a guy like Nico Hoerner who led the team in average but wasn't necessarily a long ball type of guy. He came through with an insurance run to put this one out of reach. And I feel pretty good about going into Game 2 with how the way the Cubs finished that ball game. And knowing that it could be a potential bullpen game as well, with how well that bullpen played, I liked our chances. So we'll see what happens because the Padres got to get their bats rolling. Tatis, Arraez, and Machado, the top 3 batters in their order, all hitless in this one. Merrill and Bogaerts did their part, scoring the lone run for the Padres, but it's going to have to be more than just those 2 guys coming through for San Diego. And if the Cubs can shut down their lethal offense with Tatis, Machado, Arraez, Merrill, Bogaerts, Cronenworth, O'Hearn, it's over for San Diego. So there you have it. The first individual game Cubs video and the first playoff win covered on this channel. Let's do this again tomorrow, shall we? Let's go ahead and celebrate the Cubs getting to the NLDS tomorrow. I think that'd be fun. And then they get to rest up and wait a couple of days before making the short trip north to Milwaukee to play the Brewers. And there you have it. That's it. It's over. Please like the video if you liked it. And hit that subscribe button to see more videos from me. And let me know if you like these types of baseball videos on the channel. Keep the conversation going down in the comments section below. Let me know how you feel about the Cubs winning their first playoff game in 8 years. And I will see you all tomorrow.